we have missed this until now. King Varian, thank you for coming on such short notice.
What's this all about, Ronan?
I've called you here to ask for your help. While our efforts against the Lich King press on, Bran here has brought us frightening news of the horrors beneath Ulduar, and of its dark prisoner.
Prisoner? Huh. With its binding shattered, its influence unchecked, it's gonna come after us, and we're gonna be the prisoners.
You can see now what we're up against. If this evil is not stopped, then the armies of the Death God will march on our doorstep.
You'll have to excuse me.
Well, what do you propose we do?
Thrall, what are you doing here so soon?
The summons sounded dire, Jaina. What's happened?
Bran Bronzebeard's forces assaulted the gates of Ulduar. They battled the Iron Lords and their cursed minions.
Evasive action! Evasive action!
He won't stop talking about this presence he felt, permeating the great halls, stirring in their minds, chilling their blood. He said, the horror that the Titans imprisoned so long ago, Yogg Saron, has awakened.
I want to see this dwarf, Garrosh, to see the fear in his eyes. Then we'll know if he's telling the truth.
No, wait!
We are going to need all the help we can get if we are...
Thrall!
What? What are they doing here?
Let me explain!
I thought I smelled the stench of Alliance pigs. Control yourself.
You want my blood? Come then, dog.
He's mine.
Stop it!
We have all lost! A great deal in this conflict. But we stand to lose everything if we do not stop fighting and work together!
A true war chief would never partner with cowards.
At the Wrathgate, the Horde's partnership killed more of our men than the Scourge. I'm done with your Horde. May this Death God take you all.
You disappoint me, Garrosh.
The old god is laughing, toying with us.
Who will be our hope?
Who will stand and face Yogg Saron?
Well, with all that, welcome to what has been considered and praised by many to be one of the absolute best raids that WoW has ever had. And for many, they have said this is one of their favorites, if not their absolute favorite raid ever. Now, I've actually have gone through this a couple times, because the first time I struggled with this a lot, trying to learn and figure out what you're supposed to do, especially when you're soloing it. I've gone through it a couple more times, so now I feel a bit more comfortable doing this than I did before. Like I didn't know what this did, I didn't know what that did, I didn't know about well, if you do this, then you trigger hard mode and all that stuff. So I feel like I'm a bit more knowledgeable about this raid now than the first time I did. In fact, this is a re-record. I'm actually redoing this because the previous one I did that I was going to upload, I wasn't really happier about it, how it went down. I feel like I'm able to do this one a bit better this time. And I'm going to be using my Demon Hunter mainly for a couple things. One, this is one of those raids where you got to do a lot of running around. And Demon Hunters are great when it comes to getting around places quickly. The other is that when we get to the old god Yogg Saron, as was shown in that trailer, I feel like my Demon Hunter is able to do really well in terms of dealing with the illusion phase, which is a very annoying phase to deal with if you're not very mobile. By the way, in regards to that trailer, Varian and Garrosh are complete idiots. Well, I mean, Garrosh was always an idiot. Varian was an idiot during this time. He eventually got better as time went on, by the time we got to Legion. But, oh my goodness. It's like Thrall and Jaina and Ronan were like the only ones that use brains. And Bran, which, by the way, that should give you an idea of how horrifying this place was supposed to be. The fact that someone like Bran Bronzebeard, who is kind of like, I don't know, the Nathan Drake of WoW, you could say, in terms of his personality and, you know, how good he feels and such. Apparently there are a few other players who want to go through this. Probably to farm Mimiron's head. It just shows you how shaken up he was by this place. That's how bad this place was for him. He was so shaken up by it. Well, welcome to Ulduar. In case you're wondering, no, I am not going to make this much harder on myself, like I did the first time I tried to record this, where I did the hard mode stuff and didn't even realize it. Like the orbital defenses. I ain't doing that, because that's a pain to get through. I've already done the achievement for it, in case you're curious. I've done everything except for the Iron Dwarf Medium Rare achievement to do the Glory of Ulduar Raider achievement, so I can get these 2 Drake mounts. I'll do that on my own time. But I've already done the one here where it's defeat Flame Leviathan with 4 defense systems, which is incredibly annoying to deal with. That was so annoying. So I ain't doing that. No way. Also, the first time I tried this raid, I didn't know I was supposed to get into one of these vehicles. So I was running the whole way. I probably could still do it, but let's just say it gets rather annoying with all the stuff going on, with all these ads that just beeline you as soon as they realize what's that you're there.
The answers are here.
So here's Bran
Feel it.
leading the assault. He is here to lead the assault, not only against Yogg-Saron, who has broken loose, but also because, well, there's something on the way here. For one thing, there is a AI sent here by the Titans to check whether or not this world is up to standard. If it's not, well, it's gonna tell them, hey, go ahead and erase this world and start over. Obviously, we can't let that happen.
It's a good thing you guys showed up. The Iron Dwarves have pushed us back to this location, and we're barely managing to hold the line here. Even worse, they've begun to power up their magical defenses. If we don't attack soon, they'll be able to annihilate us in the blink of an eye. We've managed to rebuild several siege machines, demolishers, and motorcycles from the Alliance and Horde expeditions, which, by the way, are not here helping us because of that whole idiocy but from both Varian and Garrosh. Both the Horde and Alliance are not helping us here because they care about fighting each other more. Even Varian was like, may this death god take you all. So we're not having any support whatsoever from either side right now. We are here pretty much with just Bran Bronzebeard and the Kirin Tor because we realize we can't let Yogg-Saron get out and essentially run rampant, especially while we're also dealing with the Lich King. Yeah, that can't happen. So we need to make sure we take out Yogg-Saron before he makes the whole situation with the Lich King even worse. However, all of our pilots died in the last assault. You must take the vehicles and storm the gates of Ulduar. Please, you're our last hope.
Keep your eyes on the horizon.
You heard the man. Have your mages release the shield and let those brave souls through.
Of course, Bran. We will have the shield down momentarily.
Okay, let's move out. Get into your machines. I'll speak to you from here via the radio.
You know what? I've done this one, and I've done this one. I've never done this one. Can I actually just blaze on through here? Just get to the Flame Leviathan and not deal with these things? Because I don't mind doing that. Whee! Speed boost! Vroom, 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 vroom. Whee! once you get to the Flame Leviathan, I'm pretty sure all these things just kind of forget about you or something like that.
Dwarves have been seen emerging from the bunkers at the base of the pillars straight ahead of you.
Boost.
Destroy the bunkers
Straight
and
for the
then be
Flame
forced to
Leviathan.
fall back.
I'll kind of explain. So, the idea was that you and the rest of your group would get in those vehicles. You would kind of go through all this trash. You would probably take out those towers that help power up the defenses, especially if you were dealing also with the orbital defenses and such. Alright, let's, you know what? Let's get out.
I need to target something first. I don't have a target.
Broken the defenses of Ulduar. In a few moments, we'll be dropping into... What's that? Be careful! Something's headed your way! Quickly! Evasive action! Evasive action!
Hostile entities detected. Threat assessment protocol active. Primary target engaged. Time minus 30 seconds to read.
This fight was a bit of a pain when you had to also deal with all the orbital defenses. Oh my gosh, was it a pain. Obviously not nearly as bad when you don't have to deal with all the orbital defenses coming at you.
I need a target.
Alright. So now everyone is here. So yeah, you can see here, this is kind of the basic, so you would get in the vehicles, you would go through, do the ads, you would go up here and try and take out these towers because they each powered a certain type of defense. Especially, I mean, if you especially did not want to deal with those against them in this fight. You could activate the defenses and then take out certain towers if you wanted to do certain ones. Or, if you want to do that achievement like I did, activate the defenses and then just go straight to the Flame Leviathan, let all four pummel you, which is a huge pain to deal with. I'm just saying. Alright, so let's see. Plenty of gold. Ooh, a new sword. Fire Soul. It's okay. It's not an amazing transmog, but I'll take it. Alright. I like that during this portion you can actually mount up. Alright. I wish there was a bit more to... This massive armored tank guards the courtyard entrance in Ulduar. The Watcher Mimiron constructed the Flame Leviathan as part of his Voltron's weapons platform. Come on, that's Voltron. Oh, by the way, this is all going on in the background back there. Between a conversation between Rydian and Bran. As they're trying to discuss the assault in here. Meanwhile, I'm just going to go on inside and start taking everything down. Alright, over here, we have Ignis the Furnace Master. Like the other Titan Forged creations in Ulduar, Ignis now serves the twisted will of the old god Yogg-Saron. This imposing fire giant troll toils over the colossal forge, creating the iron armies that will conquer Azeroth in Yogg-Saron's name. Yeah, by the way, this is... Yeah, there's a lot of Titan stuff in this place, because of course it was a prison made by the Titans.
Your blood will temper the weapons used to reclaim this world.
I need to target something first.
In order to keep Yogg-Saron prisoner here. Alright. So now we will head across to that boss up ahead, up there. Razor Scale. And this is the one that involves that achievement I mentioned. Varanus, brood mother of the Proto-Drakes in the Storm Peak, served the Keeper Thorim until she was captured by Loken and twisted into a vicious weapon. Under his master's orders, Ignis, the Furnace Master, fused iron plates onto Razor Scale's hide to enhance her deadly strikes. So, the idea here is that there are going to be some iron dwarves that are going to be popping up here, trying to stop us from setting up these harpoons to bring Razor Scale down so that we can finish her off. The idea behind the achievement is to get 25 of them and then let her fire breath kill them. I'm not going to try and do that on camera because I've seen that it's supposed to take a long time to do. I will do that on my own, off camera.
Hello.
Alright. All of our attempts to bringing her down have failed. We could use a hand in bringing her down with these harpoon guns.
Have a good one.
I basically just need to buy these guys time because, as you can see, Dark Iron Dwarves are now popping up. Oh, and by the way, she's going to be breathing fire on me from up in the sky. But I'll just I basically just need to prevent these guys from attacking me. And even if I don't, even if they're attacking, they'll still manage to save. But I just need to buy them time to set up all 4 harpoons, and then once I bring her down, I can finish her. Now, I've seen that if you just bring her down to a certain percentage of health, she'll stay on the ground and try to attack you, and that's supposed to be the best time to try and get that achievement, because then she'll just keep blowing fire on you that whole time, and if you have enough of the Iron Dwarves there, you know, it'll just be able to kind of help work, you know, pull that off. It'll just make things easier for you. But like I said, I'll work on that on my own time. I do want to get that Oh, and in case you're curious, I'm thinking about doing the hard mode version of Yogg-Saron. I'm thinking about it. I'm considering it. The thing is, I know a lot of people want to get Memoron's head. It's one of the rarest mounts in the game. But honestly, I look at it and I'm just like, I don't really want to use that. It's like, I look at it and it's like one of the mounts I actually don't really care if I get or not. I really don't. I think it looks kind of silly looking, but it's a rare mount. I understand why people they want to get just because it's incredibly rare. But for me, I'm just like, meh. Alright. There's the harpoons. Wait for the last one to go up. Come on. There we go.
Move quickly! She won't remain grounded for long!
Yep. Alright. I'll be back. At some point, maybe with another character to try and finish this off. I'm more so telling you, I'll be back to acquire you as a mount. Alright. The next boss is I guess a rather beloved one because of how it acts. XT-002 Deconstructor. Engineered to patrol the Ulduar scrapyard, Mimiron invested his clockwork creation with a fundamentary intellect that suited his duties. XT-002 has come to look upon himself as the Keeper's son, and often throws tantrums like a petulant child. So part of the achievement for this is you get XT down to a certain percentage of health, and then its heart, its like robotic heart will come out. Look, it's doing like squats, it's doing stretches, exercises. And then you take that out, and then you beat it afterwards. That's kind of the idea.
For me? Oh, I promise I won't break them this time!
I won't break them this time!
So tired. I'll rest for just a moment.
There's the heart. Down it goes. I'm ready to fly! I killed him too fast before he could do one of my favorite lines he does, which is he kind of like stomps you with his arms, and he's going no, like he's a child throwing a tantrum. It's really funny. It's a line I've heard a lot of people use like a meme. It's really cute. And as you can see, there's a lot of different toys and trash around here. I think there's like an achievement involving those. I find there's one here when it just dropped the loot there. Alright, anyway. So, as opposed to just going in, we actually got to use the teleporter to the antechamber. Alright. So, we are going to... Now, there's something story-wise here that I want to see if I can get to work, but I'm not sure if I can since I've already done this with this character. I don't know if it actually works more than once for the same character. Because I'm using that, I can't use it. Alright, whatever. Some gold. Always nice to just use these to try and farm some gold. I know people that are like, oh man, I farmed fireworks just to farm gold. I guess you could also farm Ulduar for gold, since I'm getting gold like off every enemy. Alright. So let's get through these guys first, and then we'll talk about the next boss.
I need a target.
Bosses, I should say, since it's actually 3 beings. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong thing. The Assembly of Iron. These 3 guys. The Iron Legions of Loken are commanded by 3 fearsome generals, each representing a different Titanforge race. Stormcaller Brundir, Runemaster Molgheim, and the Giant Steelbreaker fight in the name of the Keeper's true master, the malevolent Yogg Saron. So, I believe the hard mode thing for this is that you would kill these 2 smaller guys first, and you would leave the big guy Steelbreaker for last. I believe that's what it is.
One of the world's greatest knights. For the world's greatest heroes.
This one. Alright, and now hard mode. And oh, there's Bran. Now let's see if it drops the item I need to do the story
You've
bit
defeated the Iron Council and unlocked the
Bran
archive.
is over there.
Well done, lads.
Or maybe because I did the hard mode thing, maybe it'll actually let me show you guys the story part here. Okay, so the item didn't drop. Let's see if I can still do this over here.
Loads of forgotten knowledge are within our grasp.
So it looks like I can't because there's supposed to be an item that drops there, like a disc. It's supposed to be like a data disc. And so then I go over and I put it in there, and that's where we can get access to the information. So because I already did it with this character once before, I won't want to do it again. That's a shame. It's basically supposed to kind of give us a warning that Algalon is on his way here, and we have a limited amount of time to get through here and defeat Yogg Saron before we can stop Algalon from being able to fulfill his mission. Like, in lore, I believe, like, you had a limited amount of time. Like, you had to get through the rest of this raid in a couple of hours. Otherwise, Algalon would finish his mission and would, in lore, like, tell him, oh yeah, just go and destroy this world. Because, of course, there's no way we're going to be able to pass up, ooh, Memoron's repeater. That we're going to be able to pass that test, right? Alright, this next boss is it's actually kind of funny. First off, it's the one that you saw in the trailer. Loken commanded Ignis the Finish Master to fashion this towering giant to guard the shattered walkway. His massive arms allow Kolagarn to pulverize any intruders attempting to reach the inner sanctum. So, you can actually knock off this, because it's a construct, you can actually knock its arms off before you defeat it, and he'll say something like, "It's only a scratch!" Obviously referencing the Black Knight. Let's see if I can get it to work.
None shall pass. Only a flesh wound.
There it is, only a flesh wound.
Only a flesh wound. Master, they call.
And then he falls apart and becomes a bridge for us. Kind of horrible when you think about it. Alright. Ooh. Shoulder pads of the monolith. I'll take that. Ooh, another sword. Malice. Okay. Alright, so that's actually the next boss right there. Or Oriea. And there's a achievement involving her where you actually have to take her down without destroying her little cat minions, because apparently she's a cat lady. Ulduar's archivist patrols the observation ring, accompanied by ferocious cats. Years of solitude have weighed heavily on Oriea. I don't know how to pronounce that. And the old god's growing power seems to have destroyed the last shreds of her sanity. You can't glide over that. Invisible walls. Don't you love them? So she's heading over here. This is a pathway to a boss. That's a pathway to a boss. Yeah, there's like 4 different... So this is where we can actually go several different directions. This is a big main room here. You go down here to face Hodir, which, by the way, like a few of these guys, Hodir and Thorum, are part of the warrior class order hall. So the first time I recorded this, I actually did it with my warrior because I was like, hey, there are guys in here that are part of my order hall. But let's just say this time I was more interested in like utilizing mobility and actually dealing with the Yogg-Saron thing better than my warrior did, because my warrior struggled. I was like stuck in the Yogg-Saron thing for like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. It was crazy. Alright, so let's go ahead and take care of this cat lady first.
Some things are better left alone.
Yikes, what a scream. Okay. So now we're gonna head this way.
I don't have a target. It's too far away.
And this is why I love using the Demon Hunter for this. The jumping, the gliding, the double jumping. It makes getting around these long range so much easier and better. It feels so much less of a task and a chore to get through when you're able to have this much mobility. It's so great.
I'm out of range.
Oops. Gotta grab the gold. Hodir! The giant Hodir once presided over the Temple of Winter, lending his guidance to the frost giants in the storm peaks. Now the Watcher dwells in an ice cave in the halls of Winter, forced to serve the will of Yogg-Saron. By the way, these are all apparently other... there's apparently another raid group that got frozen here, as part of a mechanic he does, and failed. That's why they're frozen there. And so now we show up and we're like, oh, hi, guys. Don't worry, we'll actually finish him off. This time, unlike you.
You will suffer for this trespass.
Huh. So I can just go ahead and...
I am released from his grasp at last.
Yep. He's freed from Yogg-Saron, and we stopped him before he destroyed that extra cache. So you actually get an extra cache of loot if you stop him in time. Hey, he dropped the pet. I already have it. I'll grab that. I'll deal with all the collecting the trans and all that stuff. Signature enter. So let's see, I believe Hodir is out. Yeah, so Hodir is part of a mechanic that actually is part of a build-up to the battle with Yogg-Saron, which that is his prison down there. Sarah. I wonder who that is and why she's down there in that spot. But that down there is the prison. You can see it's broken open with energy leaking outward. So they come out here and they can be able to be used for a certain type of buff that can help you in the battle against Yogg-Saron because of how difficult of a boss fight it is, or was back in the day. So he'll say, "Mortals, I am indebted to you for freeing me from the terrible corruption that besets this place. Though I have not yet recovered fully, I can help you battle Yogg-Saron. I can grant you and your friends the Fortitude of Frost, increasing your damage and reducing damage taken from enemy attacks. Should one of you be about to fall in battle, I can freeze you in a block of ice, protecting you from all damage for a short time. Know that this ability taxes my power, and I must rest after using it. So then you can tell him, lend us your aid. Together we will defeat Yogg-Saron.
May the winds of
So
the
he
north
is the
be
first
at your
of, I believe, 4. Yeah. Because then we're going to go get Thorum, we're going to go get Freya, and then we're going to go find Mimiron. And so you can have all 4 of them help lend you a buff that will aid you in the battle against Yogg-Saron. Or you can just choose like any number of which, or you can have none. None is activates the hard mode version of Yogg-Saron, which is the only way to have a chance at getting this rare mount I referred to earlier, Mimiron's Head. People are always trying to constantly farm because of how rare.
I need to get closer.
Interlopers! You mortals who dare to interfere with my sport will pay. Wait. I remember you. In the mountains. But you, what is this?
Thorin, my lord! Why else would these invaders have come into your sanctum but to slay you? They must be stopped!
Do not hold back! Destroy them!
Right, so you can see the timer there. It's a hard mode timer. I believe the idea is that we get there before, what's-her-name disappears. Because that opens the door. Like, hang on, Thorin, we're on our way. We will help you.
Impertinent whelps! You dare challenge me atop my pedestal? I will crush you myself!
Impossible! Lord Thorin, I will bring your foes a frigid death!
Lay your arms! I yield! You!
Need to target
You are
something
not my
first.
beloved! Be gone! Behold the hand behind all the evil that has befallen Ulduar. Left my kingdom in ruins, corrupted my brother, and slain my wife. And now it falls to you, champions, to avenge us all. The task before you is great, but I will lend you my aid as I am able. You must prevail.
So if you didn't catch that, Yogg-Saron was using, or whoever that was, whether it was, it looked like a Yogg-Saron, like, illusion. But the idea is that guy still chased me all the way down here. Is that he was impersonating his dead wife, Sif, and like trying to get him to do what he wanted to do. So that's why he was like, "You are not my wife. Be gone." So now we freed Thorum from Yogg-Saron's influence. Basically influencing them, mind controlling them. And so now Thorum is out here ready to lend us his aid against Yogg-Saron.
Ulduar is
So
lost.
it's basically the same
My
thing. I can
beloved
grant you and your
slain.
friends the
What
fury
is
of the
left
storm,
for me
increasing
here?
your damage and maximum health. Should you be faced with evil so malevolent that it cannot be destroyed, I can channel all my power into a final titanic storm that will destroy even immortals.
Beware, the Pantheon's
Alright.
return.
So now, we are going to head in here. Into a lovely forest region. Oh, I forgot to read, Thorum's stuff. For years, Thorum believed that ice giants had murdered his beloved wife, Sif. Thorum turned his wrath upon his allies and fell into despair. When he learned that his brother Loken was responsible for the crime, Loken captured Thorim and brought him to Ulduar, where the old god clouded the Keeper's mind. Next we have Freya. The Watcher Freya has served as protector of all living things, aided by 3 stoic elders. Though her conservatory remains lush and verdant, she too has succumbed to the old god's maddening whispers. Fortunately, you can just completely bypass every single elder and trash in here and just go straight to her. So you don't have to bother dealing with any of them or killing any of them. If you want to make sure that they're all spared, you just have to make sure that you time this right and get through correctly. Otherwise, they will aggro to you. Freya! Over here, darling.
His hold on me dissipates. I can see clearly once more. Thank you, heroes.
Right. Oh. Freya's gift. Oh, okay. That. And take that. Let's take a moment, see if I can,
I have many lucky clues you like. Farewell, friend of the Grummles.
Do you like? Don't aggro, don't aggro. It's like, I don't want to kill any of you. I merely wanted to free Freya. Okay, so next up, and Freya's standing way over there. Next up, I'll show Freya in a moment once we head over there. But now we're going to head down this way because there's one more person that we need to help out and kind of free from the... By the way, the trash is actually called trash. Someone finally called them out for what they truly are. We always called them trash, and now they are finally being called what they really are. That's the devs having some fun, because they know we call them that, or ads. I just love it. I love when the devs can just have some fun and just kind of poke fun at things. There are things that like but not exactly within the lore, but they do it in a way that kind of makes sense, and it's just an inside joke. Anyway, so there was something that players heard about that they were like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. The train ride. So you know that train that connects both Ironforge and Stormwind? So yeah, this is another train ride within Ulduar. This is going to take us to the lab of Mimiron. A brilliant innovator, Mimiron has crafted countless mechanisms throughout the history of Azeroth that have inspired awe and wonder. But since falling under Loken's disturbed influence, this Watcher of Ulduar has only constructed machines of war and destruction. Engages his enemies with inventions rather than directly in combat. So yeah, we're going to be fighting some of his inventions until finally he creates Voltron! No, I'm serious. At least this version of Ultron. Or Voltron, not Ultron. Oh gosh, no, we're not going there. Though it wouldn't surprise me if Mimiron did create Ultron. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Mimiron was like, hey, I came up with this interesting AI program. It's called Ultron. It's supposed to help protect the planet. I'm just saying. It wouldn't surprise me. That sounds like something Mimiron would do. But no, we're going to be facing his version of Voltron. So the achievement in here for the Ulduar thing... Get that out of here. For the Ulduar thing is this right here, the self-destruct button. So the idea was that you had to defeat him in a certain amount of time after you hit this button. Because he's like, hey, welcome, and now you can help me do some testing.
you're going to help me test out my latest and greatest creation. Now, before you change your minds, remember that you kind of owe it to me after the mess you made with the XT-002. Wonderful! Positively marvelous results! Hull integrity at 98.9%! Barely a dent! Moving right along!
I do like the dialogue when I push the button. He's like, didn't you see the sign that says don't push this button? It's really funny. Memoron is really funny. Whee! He just flies across the room.
The VX-001 Anti-Personnel Assault Cannon! You might want to take cover. Thank you, friends. Your efforts have yielded some fantastic data. Now, where did I put... Oh, there it is.
There's the mount. Right there. That's it. If you want to know what it looks like, that's the mount that everyone always comes here for. People are like, oh, I'm never going to get this mount.
Isn't it beautiful?
I want this mount. I personally don't really care, but...
Magnificent aerial command unit.
And now it is time.
Preliminary testing phase complete. Now comes the true test.
Dun dun da da dun da da dun dun da da dun da da dun 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 da da dun da da. Ultra Defender of the Universe.
In its glorious glory, I present you with V07TRON.
There we go. Memoron.
It would appear that I've made a slight miscalculation. I allowed my mind to
You don't
be
say.
corrupted by that fiend in the prison, overriding my primary directive. All systems seem to be functional now. Clear.
Yeah, by the way, this place would, like, be literally self-destructing. Like, as we're doing this fight, if I had pushed that button. Like, it'd be like, there'd be fire and explosions everywhere, like, countdown to self-destruct in less than 5 minutes. The ancient gate of the Keepers unlocks. So that's letting you know, yeah, the gateway to the prison of Yogg-Saron was closed off at this point, but now it's open. And... remind myself which room it is. The inner sanctum. Yeah, let's just, hold on. Hold on. Conservatory of Life. I believe that's Freya's room. Yeah, here we go. Alright. And just like that, we're back. So now Memoron is here. The doorway to Yogg-Saron's prison is over here. Let's talk with both Memoron and Freya first.
I can grant you and your friends the speed of invention, increasing your damage and movement speed. In addition, I can destabilize the matrices of certain Serenite-based life forms, reducing their attack and casting speeds.
So that's what he provides. And then Freya provides one of the most important buffs that anyone could get if you were trying to do this, like, you know, with all the help you could get. I can grant you and your friends the resilience of nature, increasing your damage and increasing healing taken from spells and effects. In addition, I can conjure sanity wells that will allow you to recover your sanity when your grip on reality falters. If you don't know what she's talking about, there is a mechanic in the Yogg-Saron fight called sanity. As you are in an illusion, you lose your sanity because Yogg-Saron's the god of madness, insanity. Once you lose your sanity, you're mind controlled for the rest of the fight. Now, this is with a group. It doesn't really work that way if you're soloing. But back then, if you were in a group and you lost your sanity, you were out of the fight for good. You were permanently mind controlled by Yogg-Saron, and you would have to fight. And you would be fighting the rest of your team. And they would have to fight you. So back then, she was like the most important buff that you would get because sanity was such a crucial mechanic you had to deal with back then because of how detrimental it could be to your group. So I'm gonna try this. We are not gonna use any. We are actually gonna try the hard mode version of Yogg-Saron, just to try for this mount, even though I don't really. It would be amazing. It's like, I don't really care if I get it. And then I end up getting it when so many people are like, I've tried this raid 500 times, I've never gotten it. And I end up getting it. That's kind of what happened with the Nixian Drake Knight. I wasn't really going for it. I just went in to do my, to do the 10-player achievements because I was like, oh, I've never did this on 10-player. All right, I'll go there and get those achievements. And then it dropped. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just got one of the rarest mounts in the game to drop for me. And if you're curious, yes, it is considered rare, because only 20% of the player base, I've heard, has that mount. It has like a 1.4% chance of dropping, and it dropped for me. I was just like, oh, I love it. Alright. So this next boss, General Vazax. Strange creatures, known as Faceless Ones, lurk in the depths of Ulduar. One of their mightiest commanders, General Vazax, guards the twisted passages leading to the prison of Yogg-Saron. The achievement here is you have to wait until he summons something called the... What is it called? The Serenite something? What was it? What was it? The achievement will say. The Serenite Animus. So once he summons that and then you defeat it, then you can defeat it. That's how you get the achievement. It just takes a little while for him to actually summon it. So you just kind of have to, you know, stand there, kind of take it, just bide your time. And then once he eventually summons it, you just go ahead and finish him off. I've already done it, so I don't have to do that. So let's just go ahead and take him out.
Your destruction will herald a new age of suffering. I'm out of range. What horrors await?
Ugh. Alright. Look at this giant carcass out of our face. Alright. Let's see. The General's Heart. Alright, this is it. By the way, there are some achievements here for, I guess... Yes, this is the prison of Yogg-Saron. Those areas are where those four would be if we asked them to help us here. Because they're up there going, well, I guess we'll just watch you fight him. Sarah. The lucid dream, the monster in your nightmares, the fiend of 1,000 faces, all must bend to the Master's will. Your petty quarrels only make him stronger. Alright, so Sarah must be damaged by the Guardians of Yogg-Saron. Once damaged, Yogg-Saron will then reveal himself. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot here when it comes to dealing with Yogg-Saron. Avoid losing all your sanity. That's like for everybody. That is for everyone. And as I mentioned, that's actually one of the achievements, is to defeat Yogg-Saron with the assistance of 1 or fewer keepers. That's how you get this achievement. Just basically have 1 or none. And I believe if you have none, that's one of the ways to have a chance to actually attempt to get the mount.
The time to strike at the head of the beast will soon be upon us. Focus your anger and hatred on his minions.
By the way, I believe there are some achievements here for doing things like apparently when Sarah is mad at you, you're supposed to do you're supposed to kiss her. I don't know why that's an achievement, but it is. Ah.
The monster in your mind.
Listen to the voice.
Of 1,000 faces. Cower before my true form. Bow down before the god of death. Madness will consume you.
All right, this is it. Descend into madness.
Bad news, sire.
Tremble, mortals, before the coming of the
Now
end.
take out all these
Clans are
illusions,
united under Black Hand in this assault.
because
They
this
will
is when you're
stand
losing your
together
sanity.
until Stormwind has fallen. Gul'dan is bringing up his warlocks by nightfall. Until then, the Black Rock clan will be trying to take the eastern wall.
The death of King Lane, right here.
We will hold until the reinforcements come. As long as men with stout hearts are manning the walls and the
Look upon the
throne.
true face of death, and know that your end comes soon.
New York leaders agree with your assessment.
The end of days is finally upon you, and all who inhabit this miserable little seedling. Ului Bisarak Gagerong Wish.
Yeah. Pretty horrifying appearance, isn't it? So there are 3 different illusions that you can go and see when you take those portals. The one you saw was the assassination of King Lane by Garona. Another is the Lich King torturing someone, who we then later find out is Bolvar. And Yogg-Saron, I think, comments on each of these, like, it's like, oh, he thinks, like, or something like, he thinks he will be able to, conquer this on his own. He'll see that that is folly, or something like that, implying that Yogg-Saron was planning on, winning this and being the one to rule instead of the Lich King, I think. And then the third one involves the dragon flights at Wyrmrest Temple. I forgot what exactly it was dealing with, or what it had to do with, but it was obviously also another thing that was building up what was going to happen in the next expansion of Cataclysm. So, yeah. Now, in those illusions is when you have a very limited time to pull that off, and you're losing your sanity the whole time you're in there. And you have to take down those illusions to open the gate to his brain, as you saw. And if you don't do that fast enough, you are stuck there constantly getting stunned and slowed and crowd controlled, and you just have to wait for it to respawn again. This is when you're soloing it. If this was part of a group, you'd be mind controlled for good. Alright, let's see. Let's see if we got it. 65 gold, nice. Nope, didn't get it. Oh well. And so we have defeated the old god and have ended his threat against us once and for all. But it is not over. For remember, there is another thing that we need to deal with in here. Yes, we stopped the old god Yogg-Saron. But remember, there is someone on the way who claims to inform the Titans, oh yeah, this world is just completely corrupted. Just go ahead and erase it and start over. Algalon, who we can't let that happen. So we need to go see him and be like, hey,
target.
no, you can't do this. Of course, we are dealing with an AI pretty much over here, so. Let's go ahead and open the door. Yes, feel free to join me, Bran. Come on, Bran. So yeah, this is supposed to be where Algalon shows up. Now remember, there was supposed to be kind of a timing mechanic, where if you didn't get through this raid fast enough, he would get here and finish his mission, and thus would essentially destroy the world. So we have gotten here fast enough to get here before he showed up to try and stop him. That's the idea.
We did it, lads. We got here before Algalon's arrival. Maybe we can rig the systems to interfere with his analysis.
Translocation complete. Commencing planetary analysis of Azeroth. Stand back, mortals. I'm not here to fight you.
No, you're just here to...
It is in the universe's best interest to re-originate this planet should my analysis find systemic corruption. Do not interfere.
Oh, we're doomed.
I'll head back to the Archivum and see if I can jam his signal. I might be able to buy us some time while you take care of him.
Your actions
Fight
are
me,
illogical.
Algalon.
All possible results for this encounter have been calculated. The Pantheon will receive the Observer's message regardless of outcome. See your world through my eyes. A universe so vast as to be immeasurable, incomprehensible even to your greatest minds.
Behold the tools of creation.
Huh. Hey, Bran.
I have seen worlds bathed in the Maker's flames, their denizens fading without so much as a whimper. Entire planetary systems born and raised in the time that it takes your mortal hearts to beat once. Yet all throughout, my own heart devoid of emotion, of empathy. I have felt nothing. A million lives wasted. Had they all held within them your tenacity? Had they all loved life as you do? Perhaps it is your imperfection, that which grants you free will, that allows you to persevere against all cosmically calculated odds. You prevail where the Titan's own perfect creations have failed. I've rearranged the reply code. Your planet will be spared. I cannot be certain of my own calculations anymore. I lack the strength to transmit the signal. You must hurry. Find a place of power, close to the skies.
I know just the place. Will you be all right?
Do not worry about my fate, Bronzen. If the signal is not transmitted in time, reorigination will proceed regardless. Save your world.
Huh. There's stuff on Yogg-Saron, but there's nothing on Algalon. Huh. How about that? So I didn't get the item that I mentioned before where... you know, in the, where we fought the iron guys, and I was supposed to get in the Archaeum. There's supposed to be an item that we then take back. So he's like, you have to go to a place of power close to the skies. And Bran's like, I know, just the place. So then we go to Dalaran in Northrend, and we go to Ronin, and we go to the fountain, and he sends the signal through there, because it's out Dalaran's place of power close to the skies. And he's like, citizens of Dalaran, we have been able to succeed and blah, blah, blah. You know, he gives this whole big speech, which a lot of people got tired of because it would happen all the time. Like, it would kind of spam because people were constantly turning it in and people would be like, oh my gosh, shut up, Ronin. So that is Ulduar. An incredibly well-designed raid. A raid that a lot of people to this day absolutely love when it comes to its design, because partly due to how certain things you would do would determine how difficult the raid would be, and just like the visuals of the design with all the Titan stuff, you know, because a lot of people love the Titans lore here. Just absolutely love this. I think that ending it with Algalon instead of Yogg-Saron, but then again, I've heard Algalon's actually optional. So, I mean, certain bosses, of course, are optional, so. But, I would say, yeah, this is an awesome raid. The lore and historical significance, we kind of saved the world like a few separate times in this raid alone. I'm just saying. With Yogg-Saron and Algalon saying, hey, don't destroy this world, Titans. You know. A lot of cool stuff to get here, obviously. You can set it to normal or time walking whenever this does become time walking. Obviously, Mimiron's head, this is what I was talking about. Only possible if you do Yogg-Saron with 0 keepers to help you out. Lots of cool, interesting, different loot and transmogs that you can try and get in here. Yeah, I'd say, I can tell you this. This run went a lot better this time than it did the first time. The first time I struggled with the Yogg-Saron stuff, but now that I've done this a few times, I kind of know how to do this raid a lot better. Now I just have to, it just keeps popping these up here. But now I just have to focus on that, and I'll have this achievement done so I can get those mounts. So that was Ulduar. Up next in this series, we will be heading to the Argent Crusade Tournament grounds for the Trial of the Crusader. Stay tuned.